Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Katie Weaver Show. This is Katie. I'm your host. I'm so happy to be here. If you are listening live, it is about 11 a.m. Pacific time on the 6th of June already. If you're listening to an archive or a replay, I'd also like to welcome you to the show. I want to let you know that we are broadcasting also live. You can watch instead of listen if you head over to YouTube or Facebook looking for Domestic Mystic or Katie Weaver. So you can watch or listen or whatever. I'm just happy that you are here. Also, you can join us in the chat room by heading over to 12radio.com. Click on the chat button, and you'll be redirected into the Facebook chat. And my banner's right there at the top of the page, and you'll see other people chatting there. You can chat, ask your questions, stuff like that, or you can do that in either of the live streams. I've got my peepers on all of them. I can do this. Oh, thanks for being here, guys. So obviously, how'd you do with that full moon? I'm curious to know. It was actually pretty calm here. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible. It was sometimes the full moon, nobody sleeps and stuff, but we fared pretty good. I think it's because we were working so damn hard, to be honest. Because we had our first psychic fair of the year on Sunday. And so there has been an immense amount of creating going on around here. I think we were just tired. Like tired enough. So anyway, that's kind of how it went here. But even the animals really they were good. They behaved really well. So oh, Lilian, you did have insomnia. A lot of times that happens here too with the full moon. A lot, but not this time. Yeah. Well, we're sure. So I will definitely get to some readings later on in the show. Um, you can post them now if you want to, Diana, or you can wait until closer to the time. Sometimes they get lost in the chat, but it'll be closer to the end of the show. Yeah, you betcha, babe. My honor. Okay. Oh, Jane said it was calm there. Good. Overcast. Yeah, it kind of was here too. Actually, we were out last night. I love taking a ride in the car at late, when you know it's going to be gorgeous and it's summer nights here. Oh, you can't beat them. And that moon was pretty huge. It was amazing. Even last night it was still gorgeous. How was the psychic fair? Oh my gosh. It was super good. It was super good. We had a lot of fun. Uh, a good crowd. It was a long day. I will say it definitely put me in bed yesterday, for the most part, but it was good. We had a lot of fun. Me and Scott and Christy and Mars basically ran our booth, but my sister Kara came down and helped us for most of the day too, and we just had a blast. It was super fun. They had these dancers come perform. They are called Dance Azteca, and as you can probably deduce from the name, they were Aztec dancers that were absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal. They had a huge troupe, and they had the most amazing costumes I have ever seen. Their drummers, Healing Hands, where that fair is it's on a street that kind of turns into like a tunnel. The wind blows through there like you can't believe, and like the acoustics are pretty amazing. They pounded their drums, and it absolutely rocked the entire downtown. It was so cool. Loved it. There was the absolutely sweetest Down syndrome guy on their troop, and he was just keeping up the best he could, and they were all very gracious and careful and helping him move around a little bit and get to his spot, and it was wonderful. Just inclusive and sweet and fun and cool. The first part of their performance was a ceremony. There was a woman that was carrying this shell, not like an abalone. I wasn't quite sure what it was. It was huge, this huge shell, and she was burning I think it was copal. It smelled like copal to me in it, and she's carrying it like this, and they're kind of all walking behind her like she's making an offering, and there was a lot of chanting and back and forth kind of calling between them. And I didn't understand any of it because my Spanish is pathetic. Uh, what was I doing in high school? I took 2 years of Spanish. I don't, what was I doing? Not learning Spanish, that's for sure. But how do you take 2 years of a foreign language and only have like 6 words? How? Anyway, that's fine. It was high school. It's whatever. But at any rate, that was just really freaking cool. So yeah, it was good. It was a great day. I think I showed you guys. Did I show you my fuck bags last week? I think I did. Oh, maybe I didn't. I'll pull up a picture. They they sold out. So I had some bags, some totes that were smash the patriarchy and uh oh gosh. And my fuck bags. And they sold out, which just made me laugh. So I'll show you a picture of them. I'm going to have to remake them because they were really popular. People were coming over going, "Okay, I heard about these bags over here. I have to have one." So, forget all the other gorgeous images. It was nope. Makes me laugh. Okay, I'll put them up in the chat room and in the video stream. I knew I should have downloaded some pictures for you guys. It's probably fine. Yeah, most popular thing I made, those bags. Actually, the spinners did really well. I showed you guys some of the sun spinners. They did really well too. So, yeah, it's kind of fun. The first show is always interesting because you start getting a good sense of what's going to sell, you know, and if it is going to be something that people want. And then the things that do, then you recreate them and maybe kind of spin off from those if that's something that you can. So it's good that way. Yeah. All right. So there's this bag and this one. It's a beautiful day to smash the patriarchy. And then this is a flag that I made. Um, I had said in my live that I did with the fair, if it didn't sell, I was going to keep it. And then one of you guys was like, yeah, I want to buy that. So I'm printing you your very own. And there's also one now in my front garden too. Believe it or not, I do not keep what I what I make very often. I have to remind myself you get to have things too. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, it was great. We had a lot of fun. I'm gonna share in the Daily Dish, or sorry, in Luminous too. I'm gonna share a video with you of the scarves that we're working on that are really turning out cool. So let me get there. So we're gonna do Full Moon Fairy Tale Tarot today since we missed. Well, I didn't want to do it last week because it was just kind of far from the full moon. Plus, we had a lot of ground to cover last week, so I didn't do it. But we we have been learning a new skill, Scott and and I told you a little bit about it last week. It's called Ebru, and Ebru is a Turkish art of water painting and or water marbling, and we've worked super freaking hard on learning it. Oh, I didn't realize that video had sound. I thought I'd taken it out. Oh, well, that doesn't make me happy. I don't know if I want to share it with you because that's going to be very loud. I don't. Nah, it sounds like it'll be okay. Okay, it'll be fine. All right, so I'm gonna actually link up and share a video with you It is 5 minutes long. I did put it in the chat room and I'll narrate it so you guys can get a sense of what we are talking about. I do like the Full Moon Fairy Tales Tarot story. I do. Yeah. It's crazy. Every once in a while, we still watch something that, or hear a story that we've not heard yet. There's still plenty in the book that we've never heard. Occasionally, we still get a duplicate, but yeah. Okay, so I'm going to share this video. All right, and I did put a link to this video in the regular chat room so you can find it as well. But this is the process of making an Ebru scarf. And I apologize for the sound. That's crazy. But all right, so the scarves, this is a trough of water. It's special water. It's water that's been treated with a thickener because you want the water to be a little bit thicker than your paint so that it'll float on top of it. What you're really doing is you're using the surface tension of the water as a catalyst to hold your paint. And it occasionally sinks, as you can kind of see in this video. There's blotches of paint on the bottom. So it just depends on how some of the paint mixes, like spreads really beautifully, and some of it really wants to fall to the bottom. So it happens. But so in this video, yep, I am making a scarf. So first I added the black, and here you can see me adding the red. And you can see how some of the paint spread a lot further than others. It's just the composition of the paint. But you do, the way I put the black down first and it kind of covered the whole trough, that creates a kind of a working canvas for you to put other paints down so they won't spread as much. So that's what that's about. So my sister said this just looks like a lot of boobs to her. I guess so. Anyway, so yep, I'm just adding all of the paint. It takes quite a lot. It's one of the learning curves I've had, is that have been a little too conservative with paint. So I'm trying to add more. What between Scott and I making a scarf or a tarot bag or anything else we make, he puts twice as much paint as I do. So I'm trying to add more. All right, so I had my black. I put my red down. Now this is silver, so I'm going to put silver all the way down the center of it. And this is they're professional acrylics, artist paints that have been diluted and obviously put in dropper bottles. And this is pretty basic. I have some other techniques to use to disperse paint in different ways, but for this video, I just wanted to kind of show you guys what the possibilities are, how it works. I think it's really freaking cool. The way it floats on the water, then you, of course, take a tool, like I am here, to start mixing it up. You don't want to mix it into the water, like you're not stirring it, you're on the surface of the water, just mixing it up a little bit. So you can create whatever design that you want to make. And yeah. So, and again, this was a pretty basic, like marbled scarf. I didn't do very much in fancy designs. I just wanted to show what the technique looks like. It's also interesting to me too, because the color that you get on the top of the water versus when you know, attaches to your scarf is a little different. So the scarves that we are using they're silk. It's a kind of silk that's known as China silk. It's a silk that is less delicate than some others, and it's one that takes dye extremely well. So it's the kind of silk that you use typically. I think it's also known as Haribo silk. And then the silk itself has to be treated with an aluminum product to be able to take up the dye like it does. Now you can truly play in the paint for hours, but there is definitely a potential for over mixing it and screwing it up. But
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of how it but that's how it works to like do it. Now we're just laying the scarf down. And as you can see, it just really just instantly sucks up the product. Do a little work to make sure everything covers. Once it has taken that paint on like that, it won't take anything else and it won't come off because of the aluminum treatment that you put through the water through. So then it just comes out of the water. It goes immediately into a clean water bath to just rinse out the thickener that was in the water. You might lose a tiny bit of paint. That's about it. Mostly, you're all set.
Wow, I thought that was going to be pretty.
Yeah. So that's how it looks. That's how it works. Isn't that fun? I've had a ton of fun with this. So anyway, sorry if that was boring on the radio end, but hopefully I narrated it pretty well for you, or if you're in the chat room, you're able to watch it. But that's basically how it works. So Ebrew, the earliest origins of it are from Turkey. One interesting thing is that the royals started using Hebrew all throughout Europe on their official documents. So the back of the official document would be an Hebrew design. They had official artists on staff to do Hebrew or water marbling so that their official documents could not be forged because you'll never make the same design twice, ever, because most of it is chance, you know. So that's how it works. How did I learn about the scarves? I was watching people on TikTok making them and thinking it was really cool. So I started doing some research and some more research and some more research. I swear to God, Laurie, I had to become, I had to take a crash course on textiles, which my first degree is home economics education. I've actually had a lot of textiles training in the way past. Uh, so I had some intro to it. I've actually been to a silkworm factory in England when I was in college. But anyway, oh, I love TikTok. TikTok is so much fun. I have learned so much on TikTok. Wow, people, amazing artisans and people that do incredible things that post what they're doing. It's so cool. So anyway, that's how Scott sent me a video. See, Scott and I are terrible because we put each other up to this stuff. I see something cool that I think he could do, and I send it to him, and now he's down the rabbit hole. He sees something cool that he thinks I could do, and then I go down the rabbit hole. So, we're contagious. Probably not a great way. But anyway, so yeah, so he sent me some videos, and that's kind of where it started. But then I just did a lot of research, and then I bought a smaller kit, a water marbling kit off of Amazon and practiced on that on paper and on tarot bags to see if we liked it and if we could do it. And then from there, Scott built me a trough and I built a much larger kit of professional paints because the paints that came in my little kit were, you know, they didn't suck, but they were not, they weren't good enough to be go onto silk scarves. How's that? I mean, they weren't a problem. But in my world, like, if I'm gonna put them on silk, I wanna be sure 'cause silk is not cheap. So, you wanna make sure that it's, gonna hold up. So, anyway, blah, 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 that's what Ebrew is. That's where how we came into it. So, we actually did set up you should totally do it. Buy a kit on Amazon. Buy, like, the best kit you can afford. Actually, the kit I bought was only, like, $30. The initial, like it's kind of a kid's set, but I was pleased with it. I'll put a link in the chat room if you guys want it so that you can see what it looked like. But worth it, worth it. I think we don't know how to be creative in a lot of ways. Not because we don't know how, but because we get very nervous about being able to make things quote unquote correctly or right or to look like the magazine picture or whatever, right? There's a lot of pressure to do things right, but there's really no right way to do anything. And I think that's one of the things I like about Hebrew is it really takes up a mind of its own. And personally, I enjoy that. I think it's fun. I think it's nice for it to be able to just be whatever it is, you know? Oh, yeah. It was like $25. I'm going to put a link in the chat room in case you're interested. You don't have to buy this set if you're interested in trying it, but I can vouch for this set that it is decent. The paints are great. They just they do rinse out. So just FYI. Tara, I know. You're just like me. Always wanting to try something new, right? Okay, so there's a link from the kit that I bought on Amazon. Yeah, so there you go. That's what we did. Well, let's take a look at Luminous. But I know that the Ebrew's fun. It's really fun to watch. I have watched so many videos of other people making theirs because it's just kind of cathartic. There's something fun about watching it. All right, so I think I already put a link to Luminous in the chat room. Maybe I didn't. I'll go find out. Oh, I did. Okay. You betcha. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay. I put an owl on the cover this week because I wanted to. Isn't she pretty? I love her. Okay. I called the magazine this week the FYI edition. You know. Oh, that was supposed to be DIY. What am I doing? It's the DIY edition. Maybe I'm still drunk from the drunkumentary last night. I'll tell you about it, but I'm not. But it was supposed to be the DIY. Good Lord. I'll have to go fix that. I'm dead. I can't believe I did that. It's the DIY edition because sometimes you just want to do things for yourself. For yourself. That was my thought is that we're feeling kind of independent this week. Nobody wants to be told what to do. Nobody wants to be bossed around. Nobody wants your feedback. They just really don't. So you're going to do it yourself. You're going to do it your way. And it doesn't really matter if anybody likes that or not. It's what you're going to do. And there's actually not a thing wrong with that. So do it your way. Do your thing. How do you sign up? I will put a link in the chat room. However, over on YouTube, the show description has a link in there to receive. There's a link in there to receive the Daily Dish. And if you're on the Daily Dish link, then you also, oh, it says it's not found on the server. Well, I'm just full of tech errors today. Well, I don't know, Laurie. I'm going to have to figure it out. What the hell? I blame YouTube, frankly, but just kidding. It's probably my fault. Okay. Anyway, but do it yourself. That's how it is this week. And don't be surprised when other people want to do it theirself too. Those of you that have little ones at home, your kids are probably going to be doing it themselves. And to avoid power struggles and challenges with them, you should probably let them. This is one of those weeks where everybody just wants to be independent, do their own thing, and they do not want to be pushed around at all or overly instructed. So my musings were just the same thing, just a lot of my Hebrew video and then a few rocks that we painted using the same method when we were camping. I showed you these rocks last week anyway, but yeah. Okay. In bitch scopes, Kelly has an awesome set of scopes for you and a lot of her musings and her new discovery in astrology. This is what I love about Kelly. She takes a look at astrology with different eyes than a lot of astrologers do, and I really appreciate it because she makes it clear and easy to understand, but she also looks for the weird shit so that she can find it and find it in your chart and help you look for interesting things. So that's it's what she does. All right, it is Gemini's birthday, so we're going to read their scope. Joint resources could get back on track. Clarity will come soon. Your current partnerships, romantic and otherwise, are significant and made up of fate and destiny. Talk to your neighbors more. Take an acting class. Oh, Gemini. There you go. Get out of your shell. Do something wild. Read your scope. All of you. Read your scope. Read your significant other scope. Your neighbor, your friend, your coworker, anybody you need to understand. Reading their scope every week is a great way to do it. My tip of the week is mint. Grow mint. Mint's really easy to grow. It is invasive in your yard, so be a little bit crazy with it. It's gonna uh, it's gonna definitely try to take over wherever you put it. So plant it somewhere that you don't care if it goes nuts, or plant it in a container. You can also grow mint in your house in a garden container. Uh, so holistically, mint is amazing for stomach aches, for indigestion, and for freshening breath. My oldest daughter, especially after my mom died, uh, really struggled with anxiety for a while that manifested through her tummy. And so, I mean, she was, I think, 11 at the time, and her stomach hurt all the time. And we have a big mint patch in our front flower bed in our herb garden in front of the house. And she would go out and pick mint and chew on it. And we'd pick mint and we should make tea out of it out of fresh leaves or dried leaves. We'd always dry a huge jar of it. That kid lived on mint tea when she was in that stage because her stomach hurt so much all the time. And then even as an adult, the other day she told me that she sent her brother to the store to pick up some groceries. My two kids are roommates, and she just wanted mint tea. This boy could not find mint tea. Mint tea. And what? She wanted a specific brand, I guess, and he couldn't find that. So he brought home tea that wasn't mint at all. But it cracks me up. She's still, as a young adult, she still lives on mint tea. Not so much for stomach aches anymore, but just because it's a comfort food for her. But mint is really good for various ailments like that. It also is such a good summer tea, like if you do sun tea. So my mom did sun tea all the time when I was a kid. I don't know about you guys, but she would take a big glass jar and fill it up with water and put, depending on the size of the jar, about 6 tea bags in it. And then she'd put it out on the steps and just let it sit out there in the hot sun all day and steep and bring it in at night and put it in the fridge. And then the next day, she'd have this huge jar of tea. Mint tea is so good like that because it's cooling. So you drink it cold, you sweeten it a little bit. So good. So good. But magically, mint has some really powerful properties. Mint is it's used for money, healing, strength, luck, and travel. So if you are trying to manifest more money, plant mint. If you are seeking some physical or emotional healing, plant mint. Strength, luck, lots of reasons to plant mint and attract good things to you and to your home with that plant. Oh, Tara, she said her son is obsessed with peppermint beadlets. I love those. So are you talking about doTERRA's? That's the only place I know that has peppermint beadlets. Maybe someone else does and I don't know it. Uh, they are amazing. She said he has a nervous stomach and it really helps him. Yeah. Yeah. Peppermint's amazing. I've always said, yeah, she said the doTERRA ones, they are amazing. I I used to keep them in my pocket for the same reason all the time. Oh, Maureen said love mint orange sun tea. Nice. So are you buying it like that or are you putting some mint and some orange in? That'd work. That sounds amazing. Well, I've told this story before, but Christy and I went to a sweat lodge one time. I trained for years under a grandmother named Bright Owl. And Bright Owl is who trained me to do the goddess ceremony and those things. And she, uh, she and her husband were having a sweat lodge, and they invited us to come out, and so we did. And it's an all day event. It's a big deal. And I was so excited because I'd never been to a sweat before, and I really wanted to experience it. And my God, all I can say is we survived. It was one of the hardest experiences. There were 4 rounds, and each round lasted 30-ish minutes, sometimes a little less, sometimes a little more, but there were so many people there. And by the time we all crammed into that lodge and we're all sitting around, kind of around the fire pit part, uh, where they have a huge fire outside of the lodge, and they have rocks in it, big, huge rocks. And when the rocks are super hot, like glowing hot, they bring one in, they put it in the pit inside the tent or the lodge. And then Bright Owl is the facilitator, and she had a big bucket of water with a scoop, and she'd scoop out some water and throw it on the hot rock, and it would just fill the room up with smoke. Well, it was summer, and it was super hot outside as is. And then in there, when it would fill it up, not with smoke, with steam. Oh, it was all I could do to not just jump and run. The first time when all of that hot steam hit my face, I was so claustrophobic, I didn't know if I could survive. But there were 25 of us in there, and I was in between 2 teenage boys that, had all of the men had taken their shirts off. So these 2 are literally touching my shoulders, just sweating to beat the band, and I was so grossed out. I kept, shifting this way and that way, trying to get to where I wasn't touching either of them. I was probably sweating all over them too. It was disgusting. But it's fine. I wanted the experience. I wanted to know, right? And it was really powerful. Well, after you were all allowed to bring a pouch in of anything that you wanted. So I had a big almondine garnet in my pouch and some other stones. Christy is a genius, and she had brought this tiny bottle of peppermint oil. So she had passed it over to me, and I put it on the back of my neck. And oh my God, it made an instant difference. So throughout all 4 rounds, we were passing that back and forth, putting it on the backs of our necks uh, to just help cool us down a little bit. It's the whole reason I survived that experience. I'm absolutely certain. Now, luckily, by the 4th round, most people had dropped out, couldn't take any more. So by the 4th round, I wasn't sitting that close to anybody. You could stretch out a little bit. It was an amazing experience. I'm super glad I did it. But I'll always say that peppermint oil definitely saved my life. However, I'll be honest, I've never done a sweat since. Poor Bright Owl. She'd always invite us. Having another sweat this weekend. You should come out. And I'm like, I've got to wash my hair. Love ya. I think I only want to do that once. I just don't have that strong of a constitution, apparently. Okay. Christy's energy exercise for us this week is her Divine Spark meditation. Really good one when you just feel kind of flat and you need something to give you a little boost, pump you up, make you feel more like yourself, or kind of remember your purpose, and reconnect to yourself. Really good for that too. In Heart Happenings, Ginger is bringing us a scent or essential oil for each sign for the week ahead. So let's take a look let's go way down. Let's go to Cappy. All right, Capricorn. The angels and guides give you bergamot to help increase and promote a positive mood and emotional well being. Good call. We'll take it. So be sure to read your scope, and hopefully you have that oil or you can get it to use it to help you out. All right, let's talk about True Crime Squad. So we have a new episode that we're going to do a couple times a month where we drink. That's what we do. So there's a lot of true crime documentaries out there, right? And some of them are really good, some of them are unbelievably bad, and some of them are probably just fine as far as the production, but the stories are completely bonkers. So we're kind of looking at a combination of all of them. But our thought was we would watch the documentary, we would give our, we'd take notes, and then we would do an episode where we give our take on it while drinking. I know. Why? Why did we decide to do this? Scott was horrified when he called me last night, coming home from umpiring, and we had just finished, and I was smashed. I'm such a lightweight with alcohol. It's not even funny. Two shots of gin. That's all I had in a drink, But my God. Anyway, so we did our first true crime documentary. It was the first episode out of 4 of Shiny Happy People, Duggar Family Secrets. This is a documentary series that Prime just put out, and it is really eye opening. Why is it a true crime story? It isn't necessarily, except for that there's a lot of crime that's gone on in that family, particular and in that community of people, particularly abusive children. And so, and in fact, the oldest son, Josh, is in prison for child porn. So it's a big rabbit hole. But anyway, that's what we did. And Scott's like, I can't believe you did this. I just think you should never go on the air like that. We've got rave reviews, so I think it'll be okay. But that's over on True Crime Squad. It's also in Luminous if you're interested in watching. I know you guys don't all do the true crime gig, and that's okay too. I get it. Sometimes it's very, very hard to take. Anita brings us the nature fairies. Jamie has a brand new video. Some early tension leads to breakthroughs in relationships. Awesome. So, Jamie, she's always got amazing advice. So there you go. That is Luminous. Also, I am a guest this week on Thursday with Jay and Raven. So watch for that. That's their show that is Backstage Pass. So I am on Thursday morning with them at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So that'll be a lot of fun too. Yeah. Oh, Victoria said I haven't watched yet. I'm planning to when I can drink with y'all. I hear you. You kind of have to get through that shit. My God. Oh, I'm not a fan of the Duggars. If you haven't picked on on that yet, not really a fan at all. Yep. Okay, I'm going to take a quick look in the chat room and then keep going. Okay, so let's do this. Let's do Full Moon Fairy Tale Tarot so we have a few minutes to do some readings as well. Yeah. So I think it was Jane that asked what Full Moon Fairy Tale Tarot was actually called. That is what it's called. It's fairy tale. It's not full moon. I did that. It's just fairy tale tarot. The author is Lisa Hunt. It's a really uh, old deck. Like this was my mom's. I inherited this. So I don't know if it's still in print or not. Last time I looked, you could still get it on Amazon though. But I think it's fun. She has really done her homework and provided fairy tales from all over the world and done an amazing job. Christy said, I keep missing live casts. What's the new weekly schedule? For true crime or for me? Or both? Yes, Diana, put your question in. Okay. Also, do you guys know? You may not. My birthday is in 2 weeks. What does that mean? It means it's almost time for my birthday giveaway show. I'm so excited. I have plans. Oh, Lisa Hunt has them on her website. Okay, good. Oh, she put on her website that US Games was supposed to bring it back. Oh, interesting. So they are out of print. You might be able to find a used copy too, though. That's sometimes Amazon's good for that. Okay. So here's our card. So the question I was asking is what do we need to know through this full moon cycle? It's the moon. Oh, interesting. Fitting. The moon is the card. I'm guessing this is Sleeping Beauty. There is a princess lying in bed. There's a cat laying by her feet. The full moon shining in through the window. There's a carving in the arch, the headboard above her bed that looks like the phases of the moon. Let's find out what it's about. Yeah, that birthday giveaway show. I'm excited. Okay, let me find a card. Loving that it's major arcana because that's way easier to find in here. It's my only argument about this deck, is that everything in the book is a little hard to find. I don't know how you make it easier, to be honest. Maybe there just isn't a way and someone just needs to suck it up. that's that's mildly possible. Okay. It is Sleeping Beauty. The culture is French. Excuse me. The keywords are going within, dreamtime, and illusions. Once upon a time, there lived a king and a queen who desperately wanted a child. After many years of wishing and waiting, they were blessed with a baby girl. The king called for a grand celebration and invited friends, family, and fairies to the affair. But since there were only 12 golden plates, did Joseph Smith read this? Okay, I digress. For the fairies, he omitted the invitation for the 13th fairy. After the feast, the fairies bestowed the infant with magical gifts, as you do. One gave her the gift of virtue, another the gift of beauty, and on it went until the 12th fairy had her turn. Just then, the 13th fairy blew in with a furious howl. Hmm. In her revenge for not being invited to the event, she waved her wand erratically over the baby and cursed. At 15 years old, this baby shall prick her finger on a spindle and die. Okay, that's her evil laugh, not mine. Everyone gasped, but the maleficent fairy flew away. The 12th fairy stepped forward to help mitigate the evil curse by preventing her death and allowing her to fall into a 100-year sleep instead. All because you didn't get invited to a party? My God. The next day, the king decreed that all spindles in the kingdom be destroyed. And with the elimination of the spindles, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. I'm just wondering how they did spinning after that. Did they not need clothes? Or they were just getting them from another kingdom? Surely they needed fabric. As the years passed and many of the fairy wishes were realized, the princess developed into a beautiful, virtuous, intelligent young lady. One day, while her parents took a ride through the countryside, she wandered listlessly through the castle and came to a tower. See, she's a teenager now, and teenagers do whatever the hell they want. As parents, we try, right? We try to keep these fools on the right path, but what's true? They're definitely going to dig through your shit when you're not home. We know that. And definitely going to get into some hijinks. So she might have had all of the blessings of the 12 fairies, but she was still a teenager. And that, to me, trumps all. Okay. One day while her parents took. Oh, yeah, we got that part. Okay. She climbed the stairs and turned the key. There sat a kindly looking old lady spinning flax. Oh, what is that? Asked the old woman. Thank you, Beth. It is a spinning wheel. Would you like to try spinning? Asked the old woman warmly. Well, we all know where this goes. The princess, having never used a spinning wheel before, carelessly pricked her hand on the spindle. Of course she did, and fell into a deep sleep. When the king and queen returned, they were devastated to find their daughter unresponsive. The king had placed her in her room before everyone in and around the castle fell under the same spell. As the years passed, thorny bramble, ivy, and briars covered the castle. Legends were told about a beautiful princess sleeping in a far forgotten place. The mysterious princess became known as Briar Rose. Princes from far and wide tried to find her, but were unsuccessful in getting through the thick growth that dominated the landscape. One day, a prince heard the tale about the sleeping princess. He wanted to be the one who set her free. The local wise man warned him of the perils of such a rescue, but the young prince was not to be dissuaded. He marched through an ivy covered path, and let's be honest here for just a minute. Oh, damn it. Hold on. We have a troll. Let me get her gone. Thank you. Goodbye, Kimberly. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I try to catch them. It is only on my Facebook account that we get this. The only place. Okay. Back to the story. Oh, I was going to say, of course, the young prince was determined to get through. If anything, is there anything more persistent than a horny teenage boy? Is there? We know what this is about. Let's not be stupid. Okay. The local wise man warned him, blah, blah, blah. He marched through an ivy covered path towards the wild woods. Instead of the thorns and brambles stinging him, they moved out of the way and revealed a path of flowers that led to the castle. With caution, the prince proceeded through the grounds, where all the horses lay motionless. He then entered and walked down the overgrowth of the halls. He found everyone asleep in the midst of activities that they had suddenly nodded off. He made his way up the stairs to the room where Briar Rose lay in repose. The beauty of the princess exceeded expectations. Oh, well, good. I would hate for her to be an ugly sow. I mean, my God. Sure. Her skin glowed and her hair cascaded gently over the pillow. In 100 years, she didn't even have dirty hair. I mean, it's fine. The prince knelt down and kissed her without her consent. I added that. After a brief moment, the princess's eyes fluttered open as she awoke from her extended sleep. She gazed up at the man who finally had broken the spell and instantly recognized the prince from her dreams. Well, of course, for they had foretold his arrival. Without hesitation, she embraced her prince and accompanied him to the main hall. The whole castle was buzzing with activity as a reawakening spread throughout the kingdom. Briar Rose and the prince were soon married and lived happily ever after. Well, yeah, of course. I mean, duh. So, what do you think? Like, they've been asleep for, well, we don't know how long. It was supposed to be 100 years, but obviously he broke the spell before that. I mean, when I get out of bed after 8 hours, I can hardly stand up straight. Can you imagine this? No, not good. All right, what does it mean? It's time to go within and retrieve the wealth of information that is waiting to be explored. Hang on to that word wealth. By examining our dreams and confronting our nightmares and shadows, we will be more equipped to break through the illusions that may have blinded us in our waking states. This is an important step on our journey towards becoming centered and fulfilled. Okay, it really, Lillian said everyone was happy because they got some sleep. Okay, I'll give you that. It really strikes me with this one that this full moon cycle that there's a lot of abundance afoot. And I feel like this is the spot where we should be able to tap into it and key into it. Good manifesting here. If you're thinking about asking for a raise or changing jobs, starting a business, launching something new with your business, dealing with a financial issue, this is a good time to do it. Money is flowing right now. Abundance is flowing right now. This is a great time to work on it. Have I read Anne Rice's Sleeping Beauty? No, I haven't. I'll bet it's something though. Okay. Let me get to a couple of readings here before we run out of time. So, Diana, you are first. Will I be moving soon? In June or July? Will I get the extra benefits from Medicaid? Will I move to where my application was accepted? Will I meet a man when I move? Let's see. You would I do feel like you're going to move, Diana. I feel like you are going to move in July. It looks to me like there's a few delays that kind of slow you down but don't stop you. Most of it isn't even stuff that's in your control. I feel like unfortunately a lot of this is not in your control. No wonder you're feeling so anxious about it all. So I do believe that the move is coming. The extra benefits from Medicaid are a little dicey for me. I feel like it's likely that you will get them, but that also feels like there's quite the delay around it. Be the squeaky wheel. Make sure you double check and triple check on that stuff that they have everything you need. And be really, really, when you call and check on this stuff or you go in, really befriend the people there. Like be super, super sweet to them and understanding because they're super overworked. So you want to be like their friend, right? Uh, because the Medicaid is going to come through. It's just really going to take a while. I do think you'll go to where your application was accepted. Yes, that looks to me like that's exactly what's going to happen. Will I meet a man when I move? I believe you will, but that's a ways down the road. I don't feel like there's going to be a man for a hot minute. This right now will just be getting the finances settled, getting the move settled, getting really accustomed to your new surroundings. I feel like you're going to have some neighbors that are super cool, though, that will make this all a little bit easier on you. So, good things on the man. It's not no, but it is going to be very late this year into next year. It's not soon. Yeah. Jane said, should I keep 3 old electric blankets for moving or get rid of? These are my daily questions about my current life. Jane, it strikes me that you should get rid of them. Mm-hmm. Okay. Pamela, I have an insurance issue to take care of. Is this a good time? Kind of. Yes, it is when you're in the right mood for it. Don't do it on a day that you feel like shit. Don't do it on a day that you are already overdone. Do it in the morning. Do it when you're fresh. And do it when you feel like you can tackle it the most successfully. But yes, it is a good time to take care of it. Just you have to be in the right mindset to do it. Okay. What am I going to do for my birthday to celebrate? I'm going to a family reunion, but I think my kids are coming home, so that'll be fun. Uh, Tara would like a message on her sister's business. Exciting changes are happening. Will this be good for us? Yeah, it's going to be really good for everybody. It's going to be some hard work involved, it looks like, but I feel like this is going to be a fun thing for your whole family. She's got some big expansion or something going on, huh? It looks to me like, Tara, this is going to be really cool. Good for her, but yeah, good for everybody. I like it. Okay. Uh, Elizabeth, if time permits, any messages from Spirit? I have this great image of you walking your dogs. The message from Spirit, and I know you've heard this before, but is to be sure you're putting work aside and getting yourself outside as you can. Yep, and just enjoying some time outside around other people. So it's kind of twofold. The message is get yourself outside, but also get yourself around others a little bit more. You're spending a lot of time in isolation. Okay. Jane said, I have this similar question about 500 other things in my apartment. Oh, Victoria said, I was wondering about my dating life. What is coming? I feel like this summer, I don't see any set person. Like, I don't feel like anything's going to come together as like the thing. But I do feel like you have several opportunities this summer to date and also to just have fun. I feel like there's a friend group or there's a social situation that is coming up that's going to provide more than one kind of party or gathering or outing with some people that have a really big set friend group that I don't, set is I don't think set's the right word because there's a lot of movement. You're going to meet a lot of people this way. In other words, so Victoria, say yes. Uh, I know this takes you way out of your comfort zone, but say yes. Attend some things. Go allow yourself to let your guard down a little bit and have some fun. It looks to me like dating for the summer is interesting. Again, I don't really feel like I'm not sure that I see like, someone coming in that's your be all end all, but it looks to me like there's going to be a fair amount of socializing and fun stuff. Okay, this hair is driving me crazy. It doesn't matter. The show's almost over. Just relax. Yeah, you're so welcome, Diana. My honor. Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah. Tara said huge. I'm hoping it means more work and money for all of us and maybe a move too. Definitely more work and money. Definitely. The move, I'm a little more dicey on. That's down the road. It could happen, but it's down the road. But uh all the good stuff. Yeah. Smiling would love a card. Where should I put my focus? I'm feeling pulled every which way and just spinning in circles. Let's do pull you a card. Psychic Tarot. Okay. Oh. The card is foundation and achievements. This card has lots of different meanings, but I'm going to tell you that I think for you it really has to do. Yes, you're pulled in every which way, you're spinning in circles. I feel like this has a lot to do with you really getting grounded and stable. I feel like you have a lot of crazy makers in your life that bring chaos to the table a lot, that kind of take you with them on their crazy making. I think the answer for you is to really focus on your root chakra for a while, on really getting and staying grounded, on not being too reactionary to other people's nonsense, and just giving yourself a really good opportunity to slow the pace down. That's really what you need. And that may be saying no more. That may be cutting your plans back. That may be spending a little less time with people who are all about that chaos. I feel like in that you'll start getting your focus back. Alrighty, you guys. We have done what we do. We have definitely talked down to the end of the show. I want to remind you that I am a professional psychic advisor over at one2listen.com, and you can find me over there every day doing readings, healings, animal communication, mediumship. I will help you in any way that I can. So thank you so much for being here. You've been listening to the Katie Weaver Show here on 12 Radio, where we're changing the way you listen to the world.